Argentina lose 1-0 to Spain in the World Cup final, and Spain again, for the first time since 2010, are World Cup winners, World Cup champions, and finally get to add a second star above their badge. What to say? I think there's so much to say, there's so much to absorb related to this game. Firstly, I think we have to say, and listen, I'm not the avid Argentina hater that other people are. I dislike Argentina for various reasons, mostly because I just don't like the way they play the sport right now. All the other reasons that people know about it, people can feel how they want to feel. But for me, um, beyond just that, they play horrid football until the last 15 minutes of a game, until they're losing and they realize, okay, we need to go win. Horrid football, and they're poor to watch. They make every game physical, make every game rash, and every game just so brute like. And this game was no different. This game was no different. No one can tell me that this game was any different. I look at Argentina and I look at their game plan throughout the 90 minutes. Zero shots. I think zero shots on target, maybe. I remember that being in the first half. I'm not sure if they got a shot on target in the second half. But zero XGOT until the 117th minute in a World Cup final. Listen, this is horrid. Horrible. I don't know what their plan was to win this game. If we start with the lineups, Nico Gonzalez starts, which makes sense because they've needed with this whole tournament. That diamond in midfield to, I guess, bring control in the game was not working the whole tournament. So finally, they start with Nico Gonzalez on the left. And I'm thinking, okay, you know what? This is their tactical adjustment that they usually make in game. They're making it before the game starts. This should go well because they usually play better. However, Nico Gonzalez, Hall of Shame performance, did nothing the whole game. Every single time I saw him, he didn't really have an impact. He was getting bodied off the ball easily, pocketed by Pedro Porro, easily bodied off the ball, consistently losing the ball and turning over possession. It was maybe I'm not seeing it right. Maybe I need to go watch it back. But for me, from what I saw, horrid performance. Next, that midfield, Argentina midfield, dreadful. And now we know why they play with four midfielders usually, because maybe that first 20 minutes, I don't know how many times they gave that ball away. Rodri was absolutely dominating that midfield. Rodri consistently action on action, stealing the ball, pressing from them, stealing the ball, causing turnovers. And yes, Rodri is a great player. Was he player of the tournament? No, but that's a different story. He's a great player, but this guy, he just had a horrible injury and he's only come back in 2026 really in terms of consistent football. So this is not Rodri in his physical prime. Technical prime, yes. Physical prime, no. So the fact that he's out muscling you, outworking you, causing turnovers, and yes, a lot of it is the brain, but also physically, horrid performance from that midfield. Horrible. And look, my goodness, I don't understand Argentina's tactics or what they were trying to do to win the game. Until the 117th minute, or the 115th minute, 110th minute, I had no idea how Argentina was going to win this game. I had no idea how Argentina was going to score. They created literally no chances. The stats say, but also the eye test says no chances. And it was just a slow game that Spain were eventually going to score. And eventually they did. Spain did score 1-0. Mikel Moreno, I don't remember exactly what happens, but I can honestly, it's kind of slipped through my mind. But all I remember is Mikel Moreno touches the ball, flicks it. Emi Martinez gets involved. I think he kind of saves it or hits him. And then it comes back to Nico Williams, who slots it in for 1-0. However, the goal is disallowed. And again, with Argentina, look, I don't like the robbery. I don't like the rigged allegations because every big team gets it. Arsenal fans get it, or Arsenal gets it, Liverpool gets it, City gets it, and some seasons, some teams get it more than others. And I understand why sometimes it can make it look like it's rigged, especially if it's in such a big game. But how is that disallowed? How is that disallowed? That in any game of football, if that's disallowed, brother, the sport is finished. He barely steps on him. It's so light, and it's even in slow motion. I thought it was light and barely any contact. And slow motion usually makes these things look worse. I don't understand it. He's turning. He barely touches his foot while flicking it on. I don't understand how Otamendi can dive like he's been killed or shot, and that's disallowed. It makes zero sense to me. And honestly, it's concerning that you can get away with those type of dives and those type of reactions in the sport, and that is rewarded in a World Cup final. Shocking to me. Absolutely shocking. But the goal gets disallowed, and listen, Argentina throughout the game, so many like horrible tackles, so many dreadful tackles, so much play that just made me feel like what is their purpose? Is it just to be brutes? Is it just a foul? It was a very, very disappointing game. And listen, I've given credit to Argentina previously. Maybe I haven't made videos on it, but for example, against England, they were poor for a lot of the game. But when they needed to step up, they stepped up, and they stepped up heavy, and they were the better team. Argentina usually, when it's 0-0, or when they have to be, when they want to get in the other team's head, they do it, and they do it well with those little fouls, those little movements. And listen, I don't mind that. I don't mind the dirty side of the game, but it's gone too far. I think it's just gone too far. You look at some of those fouls, some of those incidents, and usually when they go 1-0 up, they calm down, and when they go 1 up, they realize they have to win. But in this game, it didn't feel like that. Maybe for 5 or 10 minutes, I felt like, Argentina, they're actually playing football, but before that, not at all. And I know they weren't losing for that long, but this is a World Cup final. At some point, you have to be the protagonist. At some point, you have to go and try to win the game. And I cannot say that they did that until the last 5-10 minutes. Absolutely shocking. I can't be more disappointed in that performance. There was no they showed no grit, no determination to win that game until the last 10 minutes of the game. And it's just disappointing to see, because you look at Messi, and that's probably his final World Cup, and his final probably performance on the big stage. Maybe Copa America when he's 41, but I doubt he'll be at a World Cup at 43. And so you look at that and you say, you would expect the team to try and go and win, but they were completely nullified. No one did anything. Messi showed up in the last 10 minutes and tried and created, and he was definitely the biggest threat. Anytime he had the ball, I was definitely nervous as someone that was a neutral, but definitely more on the Spain side, given how Argentina have played. Horrid performance. No one stepped up from that team. And listen, Enzo Fernandez, it was about time. Paredes, you're lucky you only got sent off after the game was done. It was about time. And I think that's another thing I have to talk about. It's unfortunate because I told my friends before the game when we went to go watch at the pub, I want to watch this game and not talk about the referee. I want to watch this game and come out not talking about, Argentina this, Argentina that, but watching that game, how can you not, how does that game not support the conspiracy theory? How does that game not support the people that believe that it is rigged or that it was rigged? It's absolute nonsense. Fouls all over the game. Paredes pushing almost in front of the referee, and there's no yellow card for that. And I think he was already on a yellow. That should be a second yellow, if not a red directly. Maybe he did get yellow for it. Maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but that's even in contention for a red. Messi complaining to Cucurella when he puts his hand over his mouth for literally a half a second. He literally goes like this and moves it. You cannot say that he said something that quickly. That is, and then Messi goes and starts trying to tell the referees, oh, he put his hand over his mouth. It's nonsense. What is this? It's just pitiful. And I have to congratulate Spain. I think I spent way too much time on Argentina, unfortunately, but I think it's just that frustrating. But Spain, a lot of players maybe didn't turn up as we would have liked, but in terms of that forward line, Alex Baena, again, a little bit disappointing. Oyarzabal, again, not doing too much. Olmo had little moments. Yamal had moments, but overall, I didn't think, as this whole tournament, he hasn't been at his best. I thought Rodri was good. Fabian Ruiz was solid. I thought Moreno came on and was good. Zubimendi came on and he was solid. Pedri came on and he was solid. I think Porro was good. I think Nico Williams came on and was really good. But I think the main credit has to go to, I think, Rodri, who I already gave credit to, but also the young player of the tournament, Kubarsi. And I think they got the best player of the tournament wrong, but they definitely got the young player of the tournament right. Kubarsi was definitely the young player of the tournament. What a defensive performance he's had in multiple games. Not just defensive though, on the ball as well. He's been monstrous. Beautiful passes into the midfield, breaking lines, and defensively immaculate. You cannot say, look, I love Saliba, and I think he's the best center back in the world right now, but Kubarsi, Laporte. I think they have to be the starting two in terms of if you're looking at the team of the tournament. Those two are the two. Cucurella was good today as well. Had a few chances that he could have finished, and obviously Spain struggled to finish sometimes, and we know that. But wow, Spain were the much better team and definitely the deserved winners. And I cannot be more happy that football won today. I think football won. And listen, usually Messi, you think of Messi as the epitome of football, the peak of football, but I think today, no. I think he was on the end of the team, or he was on the side of the team that did not play football today, and football won.